Yo, welcome back to another episode, Peace of Mind Podcast. Hey, kicking it off, I'm your boy Ron, underscore King Coop on IG. To my left,
Jarrell, you can find me on IG at JERRELL at 0597. Tune in.
Tap in, Kings and Queens. This is King Jalen. Follow me on IG at KJNGSAGE, King Sage with a J. Let's kick this shit off.
Sir. Back for another week, fellas. How we feeling?
Man, feeling good, feeling gravy. And
wolfing it out. You got the hair growing and shit.
Oh, yeah,
beard filling in real nice.
I'm there with you. That's why I got this hat on. There's no shape, no.
Hey, I'm not scared to show my head, man. I got the waves coming in too.
Hey,
I'm so worried about that.
I'm growing busy streets. Tap in.
Y'all know me.
What you mean? What you mean?
Well, y'all know me. Why I'm growing my shit out, obviously for spiritual reasons. And as life keeps going on, I keep elevating and just continue to grow.
My man said, man, as life keeps going on, recently, it's been a lot of life cut short. And by recently, I'm not even talking about, the passing of Migo Gang, Takeoff. Really within these past, rest in peace, Takeoff. Hey, man, Takeoff was my favorite Migo, for the first 3 years that I knew about the Migos. All, No Label 2, Wiring, Takeoff carried all them projects. Fight Night, come on, man.
Yeah,
too young for that, man.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of Takeoff or the Migos, but
Why you?
But I mean, just
nigga like Drake.
Me being honest. But it's really sad to see another rapper go. I have my own feelings about the rapper leaving us. RIP to my nigga, rest in peace, King. But we're gonna get into that later.
It's a uncomfortable tragedy that this keeps happening within our community. We definitely got to do better, and may God rest take our soul. My condolences goes out to QC, to Coach K, to everybody that's associated in that camp.
Yo,
yeah, rest in peace, man.
How many rappers y'all think done died? Let's not even, because I wanted to say the past 3 years, because I feel like 2019. Pretty much after Triple X,
right?
XXX, after he died, I just noticed a trend. But let's say, how many people you feel like done died this year?
Man,
you got Takeoff, you got P&B Rock, you got JD Youngin.
Nip.
Nip died in 2019?
March 31st, 2019.
Oh, you got the date.
Damn, nigga.
This nigga been to the grave. Put some flowers on that mug, boy. Man, that shit is sad, man. And we talking we're just talking about rappers, let alone, okay, so these rappers are black men. We see their deaths because they're famous. They're on the pedestal, but let's not even talk about the rate of how many black men die to gun violence in America. It's really sad, man. And I, in preparation for this topic, I got a few facts that I want to kind of share with the gang here and see what y'all think about this, man.
This episode is brought to you by Duce. All Kings read Duce. Shout out Jay-Z, the true black king.
All right, bet. So this is there's a few different ones I got here, man. This is from a website. My source is called everytimeresearch.org. This says each day on average 30 black Americans are killed on average by guns. At least every other day, a black person is shot and killed by the police. From AmericanProgress.org, young black Americans aged 15 to 34 experience the highest rates of gun homicides across all demographics. So everybody in America, young black Americans aged 15 to 34 experience the highest rates of gun homicides. Black Americans are 10 times more likely than white Americans to die by gun homicide. In 2020, this really blew my mind when I read this, bro. In 2020, 12,179 black Americans were killed with guns compared to 7,286 white Americans.
That right there, the numbers really are speaking itself. You speaking scriptures right now.
Let me say this last one and then
all right, go ahead, fam.
While black Americans Oh, this is from, my bad, the census.gov. While Black Americans make up 12.5% of the U.S. population, in 2020, they were victims in 61% of all gun homicides.
Shoot, well, tell me, bro. Tell me how you feel about that, man. Because I can hear the passion in your voice when you're speaking on it. So you tell me.
Bro, I'm just like, what is really going on? Like, what do you think? And okay, so we're talking specifically Black because everybody here is Black. I'm not saying, there's an expression of Black on Black crime. And, we all know that this was coined by white supremacists. I want to say during the Nixon administration, super predator and all that shit. I want to say, I'm not sure. But, it's a term coined by white supremacists. But I do kind of feel like there is some underlying, like truth to this. Like we definitely have an issue with gun violence in the Black community in America, but we can call out and check Black people. We are Black people, so we can call out and check ourselves. What's wrong with us, man?
We got to do that, man. Because if we're not gonna hold ourselves accountable, we can't expect anybody else to give us exactly what we need. Me and Rel been talking about this for the last couple of hours, man. To bring up a personal story with my homeboy Q. Shout out Q, Children Game for Life. Tap in.
Q, what up?
Goddamn, a couple years ago I was having an internship in Atlanta, right? And this was when the Breonna Taylor and the George Floyd shit was going on.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
I was, I'm real passionate. I was out there for the I was about to say rallies. That sounds crazy as hell. I was out there for the protests.
Yeah,
right?
that was going on. I remember that.
And, I was just calling, tapping in with all my niggas, bro, because I was just angry. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? And my nigga Dez was just like, he said, bro, I hear all this shit. I see y'all protesting, but fuck all that shit. Because before we even expect anybody to give us equality, fairness, freedom, we got to treat each other better. He shared a story with me saying, one day, him, his aunts, and his moms, and his two little cousins were driving on the highway, right? They were driving on the highway, and they had cut somebody off. I mean, shit like that happens. Blase. Motherfuckers might
I already know where this going.
And motherfucking, they were kept on driving. Then the car that they cut off, it was two young Black kings. They pulled up beside them, pointed a gat at these queens with the kids in the back seat, all because they cut you off. So I say that to say
that ain't no king shit, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's peon. That's pawn shit, my nigga. So I say that to say, if we're gonna sit here and expect to evolve in any capacity, we gotta start treating each other better. Why are we sitting here pointing guns at our Black elders with little kids in the back seat? Don't get me wrong, like you said, it's the term is coined by white supremacists. You know what I mean? It's a racist foundation behind that ideology. But there's still something that we have a participation in within that very idea. Like we keep, you know what I'm trying to say?
We perpetuating.
Exactly.
So I feel like you coming from the music aspect, right? Mm-hmm. You're saying like, all of these kind of like young people. I kind of disagree with that because I remember growing up, man, like GTA. Remember, like GTA was like, oh, don't let your kid play that because he'll go out and shoot people up. Mm-hmm. So I was never one of them kids that was influenced by what you heard in rap music or did in these video games and stuff like that. But is that a real question? Is it the music that's influencing these young Black men to go out and get guns and kill their brother? Like
I said, plenty of times, unfortunately, niggas hate niggas. Okay?
Well, you said one with that.
Right here.
Every single day. And for me personally, I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing, bad news of stuff like this happening on a day-to-day basis. Like I told y'all plenty of times, like both sides of my family is from Philly. So firsthand, when you hear stories of 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds having shootouts every single day.
Talking about that earlier, yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like mama's crying, grandmom's crying, father's crying. It's not much that we can really do. Yes, we can point the finger at, white men back in, the slavery days, systematic racism, which I understand. But at a certain point, we got to take full responsibility and actions of what we do. And in our community, we don't do that.
Facts, the word.
We hear what we want to hear instead of accepting the full truth.
Bro, the word is accountability, man. And I feel like accountability is a word that oftentimes is forced on men. And we all have to come together as a community to address what's really going on, man. So let's take it back to the roots. Now,
before you go further, I want to answer that question.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
So, the music that we listen to does play a role in what we're doing to each other, because at the end of the day, this body right here that we have is a heap of consumption. So we are thrown in these communities with this music, and music is nothing but art, and art is nothing more than a reflection of reality. So this music that we're listening to is literally happening in these communities. Now it's translating to outside the hoods and the ghettos. Now the white kids in the suburbs are listening to this music. But we are heaps of consumption. That's literally all this body is. That's all our human experience is. What you see today with me, you, him, is nothing but a big ball of experiences consumed over a period of time. So though, we do got kings like you that aren't going to succumb to that. But then you got other people that can't necessarily have that same power. And where that power comes from, I want to touch into a little bit later. But that plays a role. And going back to what me and Rel were talking about earlier today, if we're going to have this conversation, if we're going to have a solution-based podcast and conversation amongst us and our listeners, we have to bring all the perspectives to the table. And the hard truth is, no matter how much we all like hip-hop, we love hip-hop. We listen to hip-hop on a day-to-day basis.
We already know what hip-hop is mostly about.
It is a contradictory, not even contradictory, it is a part of the problem. It really is. It really, even the greatest hip-hop legends, they're part of the problem, because they really, though they're expressing themselves in an honest and genuine way, they're still spreading that I'm about to kill a nigga and fuck a nigga bitch, and I don't give a fuck because I'm that nigga.
A lot of them got killed. And a lot of the greats.
Like I said, to add on, I'm going to always say, I'm going to continue to say it. Our culture is built off of pain and suffering. My nigga, you got Nas right there. You got Nas, and you got Cole, and you got the Revenge of the Dreamers. Nas. And Common. Can't forget Common. But, Nas, once again, he's a very great rapper, super conscious, super, on the pro-black shit. But at the same time, Nas grew up in Queensbridge around, the nigga shit. So obviously, what come with that. Same thing with the late, great Tupac. Tupac, unfortunately, he got killed at 25 years old.
24.
That's what I'm saying.
And he made that song, like you said, fucking these bitches. First off, fuck the bitch and the quick playing.
West side,
come on, dog.
Come quick, gang.
Come
on.
To
be a player, but I fucked your wife.
Come on,
fucked your wife. West side,
we about to turn up to that shit. You know what I'm saying?
It's a great diss song, absolutely, but dog, it's very demonic.
You can't just chalk it up to it's art and it's my reflection of reality. Don't get me wrong. Yes, it is a reflection of these kings and queens' reality, but we have the freedom to live our life. We are not free from the consequences that come with the freedom that we have. My grandfather told me that.
So let's say this, bro, because you saying that that the rap, the art is a reflection of life. A lot of times this shit be capped, man. So NLE Chopper, if y'all listen to NLE Chopper, y'all know the type of music that he make.
Yeah.
You know what NLE Chopper is about. Now, I think this was 2020, 2020, 2019.
Okay.
He decided to get on this whole, you know what I'm saying, vegan lifestyle. He started working out and,
Spiritual.
you know, just the whole spiritual thing. So,
Spiritual.
you know what I'm saying, he was making all these positive changes. And I remember watching a interview with him on the Breakfast Club. And he was talking to Charlamagne and Envy about it. And he basically was saying, you know, so he was dropping the album, of course. Whenever artists about to drop an album, they go up there. But he was just talking about all of these healthy changes that, you know, he's been making to his life and, you know, basically just shutting negative energy out. So I was really intrigued because I'm like, I know what type of music that NLE Chopper makes. So he's about to drop this album. I want to see, you know, what else, what positive, this new positive lifestyle that you got, how you gonna put that on the track? Listen to the track, straight nigga shit, bro. In a shot of flow 5, like I'm gonna fuck your bitch, like all this shit that you just sat up here and told us in this interview that you're not living. Future said that he ain't done drugs since when? But every album he dropping talking about perks and like all this shit. So it's just like, bro, it's like the fact that this shit that y'all putting out is poison and y'all not even living this. That's some shit that we need to sit down and analyze. Like, and that's what I'm talking about as the black community, because we're the people that put money into the pockets of these people, that support these people. If you making music on a certain type of frequency that we trying to rise above as a community, if we not supporting you, you ain't got no choice but to make the music that we trying to hear. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, we had to come to a community to shine light on certain stuff that, hey, we're not letting that slide no more. That's whack. 80s, crack is whack. Crack babies, 80s, but at a certain point we said, nah, crack is whack. We not doing that.
Right.
So we do have the power, and that's why we here having this conversation, because as a community, as a people, period, we have, whenever we're unified, that is the most powerful that we can be. And it's very sad because my generation now, I'm gonna say because I'm a part of this generation, I'm not alienating myself. We just had this mentality of it's me versus the world, and I don't need no new friends and all this bullshit. When it's like, bro, like we the strongest when we're unified. That's how you get change made. We come together and we set parameters on what we accepting and what we not. That we can talk about this election. I ain't even gonna talk about that.
And I mean, bro, what you said was exactly what I was going to rebuttal to what you said. We have an individualistic mindset. It's a very American thing. We say that American with a capital A. We're very capitalistic and individualistic the way we think. So it really goes beyond the black community and the genetic trauma that we have, the trauma that's inside our DNA. It goes into the American psyche where it's me and mine versus the rest of the world. And don't get me wrong, I came up in a lifestyle like that. Like all I wanted to do was to buy my mom a house, make sure my little sister's good, and I don't give a fuck about anybody else. But at the end of the day, you heard the conversation I had with that elderly man at the motherfucking gas station. He says, okay, but a true king reaches outside his family and gives to those who don't have. That has nothing to do with them, but you're gonna give to them anyway. Why? Because at the end of the day, we are all sharing this life together.
I know for me, I love my culture, love it to death, but unfortunately, when I'm around my people, it's like, to a degree, yes, I love them to death, blase, blase, but in the back of my mind, it's like my guard is up. Like, I'm tensed up, I'm in survival mode because I don't know what the fuck he or she is going to do to me.
Are you saying that that's only when you're around large groups of black people, or are you saying just a large group in general?
A large group in general, as far as like us, black folks.
So a large group of black people.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Why?
Because you and I both know. you and I both know.
But to explain what Rel's saying, Rel saying that, you know what I mean? You know what happened when we went to parties. You know what I mean? It's like when you get a whole bunch of niggas together.
When it's
niggas gonna coexist. So niggas gonna start fighting. Niggas gonna start shooting. You know what I'm saying? So
niggas ain't fighting no more, bro.
Niggas
is shooting.
Fighting, man.
And you remember, we went to the Central Party the very first year, like last year. it was like 6 security guards with like AR-15s and shotguns. Like
They
inside
weren't
the
playing
party.
because they already knew
And
what
one.
time it was, bro.
And you might think that's some racist shit, but it's honestly, on a certain level, it's valid.
So let's attack that, bro. What is it? Because I feel like we all alpha men here. When I get around large groups of, because I feel like a lot of times what that is, niggas be trying to prove themselves.
Yep.
When I get around large groups of black men, I don't feel a need to prove myself. But I feel like a lot of times it be like niggas just trying to, I don't know what it is. Niggas just want to be the top dog, but you don't have to be the most violent to be the top dog. A lot of times, niggas will respect you from the way that you carry yourself. So we be talking this king shit, bro. It's an aura that you emit. When you a real nigga and you move like a real nigga, like men that are about something see that in you and they respect it. Like for me, instance, bro, like I'm not trying to brag. Like I just, it's a certain way I carry myself. So when I be at work and stuff like that, it's just like, just the way that I carry myself, you kind of understand when a man picks up on that. Like for me, I could, like for instance, I had a conversation with this guy today, and just the way I was making eye contact with him, looking him in the eye, answering his questions, speaking clearly, and just respecting him, he gave me the respect back. Like the ultimate sign of respect that you can get from another man is this. You had a conversation, it's like, hey man, because the guy's about to leave and he extends the hand. That means we had a good connection. We talked about some shit. I respect you. Hey man, you know what I'm saying? Good shit. And I'm gone. So
to add on to your point that you said about, having excuse me, to prove yourself to like another like man, usually the end game to that is prison or death. Especially, with like us black men, because we're always trying to one up on each other about, who got the most this, who got the most bad bitches.
But I want to attack that. Why do we do that shit?
Man, it's really intrinsic. That what we talking about now really is beyond just black folks. It's really just people in general. Like honestly, niggas, because we as men, we just want to be up top. It's like we want to be the head of the charge. We want everybody to see us as the top nigga. It's just like, you know what I mean? Wolves fighting to see who's the top dog, or lions in a pride trying to see who's the head motherfucking man.
It's animalistic, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like who has, you know what I mean? Who carries that mane the hardest? You know what I'm saying? That's really where that comes from.
Okay. I feel you on that. And it's just like, I feel you on that, but I feel like maybe we take it to the extreme. Because I don't know. It could be the media, but even Rel said it earlier, like when I just get around a group of niggas, I feel like it's like, it's a certain shit that kicks in. It's like you sense, it's like, all right, like I'm looking around, like what y'all doing over there? Like y'all getting loud and shit. Like,
again, and I'm not
I love my people.
That you lying.
I love it.
I'm not saying that you lying. I'm not, because two things can be true. First and foremost, because there's no such thing as absolutes. What you're saying is true, but I'm challenging you on that because it's not extreme with niggas. It's just that we know how niggas operate. You know what I'm saying? When a group of white men get together, I guarantee you it's going to be a whole bunch of testosterone, because it's not really just black folks. It's just a man thing. You know what I mean? Men want to naturally prove themselves. And the point where a man evolves to become a king is when the king no longer feels the need to prove himself as a king. A king walks with that aura. A king walks with his chest out, his head high, and his crown higher. And that's what a real king is. And the sad part is that the people that are starting these fights, the people that are starting these shootouts in places where, nigga, we supposed to be having a good time, they're feeling insecure. And it be over shit like, I didn't get no ass thrown on me tonight. I've been standing on the wall all night. I don't know how to socialize, so I'm mad. You bumped me. You scuffed my shoes. Fuck you. Boop, boop, boop. Now you got 4 motherfuckers dead laying on the ground. Why? Because you sensitive. You think you hard, but you really sensitive. And I'm going to say this, in my experience, men are way more sensitive than women, because men are always trying to prove themselves.
And here we
niggas got egos. That's what it be.
And here we are, men, right? Well, specifically in this conversation, black men. We're supposed to be the leaders, right? The niggas with the direction, the visionaries, but yet we can't even come together to try to build something. It's always competition, and competition breeds jealousy. And it should not be like that because we're men. Like, why the fuck are we fighting against each other for?
Facts.
That's
So
embarrassing.
we talking. I feel like we talked about this from the accountability aspect from the black side. Now let's talk about the white side. Now, I don't know if it was the 80s, it was some point in that time, but taking it back a little bit farther than that, during the 70s, that was a great motherfucking era of black power and black unity, bruh. Like niggas was together. Like we was like it's like you see like the same way we be on that king shit. It was like, hey, black man, you know what I'm saying? Like that was the mentality that a lot of black people had. Now we had the Black Panther Party that got ruined by COINTELPRO. You know, what's his name? Huey.
It's slipping off my tongue.
Huey
I know what you're talking about.
Huey P. Newton
Huey
and Bobby Seale.
Mhm.
So you know those were our leaders at the time that
Shout
got
out.
taken out, and drugs and guns were put into the black community. So we know where that came from as far as us getting access to these things that are destroying us. But where did the mentality? Because I feel like that's more so what I'm speaking on when I'm talking about, you know, this conflict that we have amongst each other. I feel like niggas don't, like you said, niggas don't respect each other. Like I respect both of y'all. I respect any man that I see on the street because you have to respect a man because you don't know what he's capable of. So I give that respect off top. Hey man, there's no problems unless it's a problem. Then we can take it there. But just seeing you, I'm not gonna have an issue with you. But I feel like a lot of black men have a problem with each other. And it's like off gate, I don't value your life as much as like I'm willing to take it there with you versus me taking it there with this white man or this Asian man or this, you know what I'm saying? So where did that come from? Why do we have this mentality against each other versus other races?
You take. I got to marinate on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to marinate on that too.
Shoot, well, if you got to marinate on, I just bring my first thoughts. My first thoughts is just that we breed more competition than the average American in our communities because competition is what gets us out of our communities. Sports is what gets us out of our communities.
That's
Music is what
Facts.
gets us out of our communities, singing, rapping. So, in the nature of sports, the nature of rapping and music is just flexing, saying, I am better than you. I used to play football, bro. I'm still a football head to this day. I played on the D line. The line is the trenches. You don't get no rewards. You don't get no awards. You don't get no shine more times than not. Nigga, that's the shit where I'm lining up in front of you. You lining up in front of me. Who's going to let their nuts drag harder? And I promise you, you're not going to let your shit drag harder than me because I'm built with something different than you. And I can even feel that when I say it because at the end of the day, when I'm in that position, I truthfully feel like I can knock any motherfucker's head back. But with that, you feel that, right?
I like that. I got something to say to that. I like that you said that.
But like, we take that, we internalize it. Like myself, we look at it as a way to get out of our situation, get the people that we love out of our situation, and then we internalize it to the point where now we're viewing this on a whole life scale. And that breeds an individualistic person versus a compassionate community type person. And there's nothing wrong with individualism. I don't want to say that. There's a certain role that I think it should play in life. You know, once again, two things can be true. Multiple things can be true. But we need to dim it down, and I believe that's where our extreme individualism comes from.
And
big facts.
You know,
I agree with that.
Competition breeds jealousy. Like we see all the time. Not to get off topic, but obviously, you know, because I'm a big basketball fan, you know, like when you see guys playing basketball, you know, like they start losing. And I seen it firsthand too when I'm playing with a group of niggas on the court. Niggas get to losing. They, you know, I done seen niggas.
That's the first place you gonna get into a fight as a black boy
in
a basketball court.
I done like almost been in fights. Shout out to the nigga that tried me. I ain't gonna say his name, but shout out to the nigga that tried me.
He watching, man. He watching.
But I done seen niggas like almost lose their life over a basketball game. That's how that's and this is how it really gets. And they're not even playing for money. And if they are gonna try super duper hard.
Yeah, that's real shit, bro. I'm gonna just be honest, bro. Like, I ain't grew up in the hood. I'm a suburban kid, so you know what I'm saying. It was peaceful in the neighborhood. We had you know, we used to have like heated basketball games and stuff like that. But yo, I went to like neighborhood schools, elementary school. And then like fifth grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, I started going to school downtown. And that's like the hood. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I came up playing basketball. I was like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we running the game, let's pick up. Yo, like them games was so aggressive. It got to the point where it's like, I don't even want to play because I don't want to fight these niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, niggas got 6-packs cut up and shit in 6th grade, bro. It's like, bro, like,
I don't know what it is. Why
Y'all
is it that all hood babies just born with 6-packs? Niggas walk outside with motherfucking 6-packs, bro.
Bro, at 8.
Like, you know what's crazy? It's wild. When I moved out the ghetto is when I lost my 6-pack. That's what's crazy. It's a connection.
Motherfucking Lunchables,
science,
and ramen noodles, all that shit.
Butter bread, nigga.
Man.
Bro, I want to really getting to the meat and greet of where we need to go. But at this point in the conversation, where do we go on an accountability level? As us as black folks, where do we go? Where?
Like you previously said.
Before you answer that, bro, let me interject this because this goes with Jalen's point. I saw on Instagram, man, there was this post. Now, I might catch some slack for this because I don't agree with this, but I just wanted to read it all to you and then, real, I'm going to let you go. It says, black on black crime is a white supremacist talking point. It's a myth. Violence occurs with who you are in proximity with across all communities. Black folks got to stop repeating that talking point. It's a lie. Now, I will say, to give this shit some context, this girl put this up after, like, the day after Takeoff got killed over that dice game or basketball game, whatever it was. And I didn't like that, bro. I thought that was insensitive and it was uncalled for. And I don't agree with it because I think we got to take some accountability. But go ahead, bro.
It starts, like you said, Jalen, it starts with the man in the mirror. Like, you got to look yourself real deep in your soul about who the fuck you are and what changes you need to be made. Now, unfortunately, just my opinion, in this case, it's on the individual. Yes, I can give you as much game about who you are, black, pro-black shit, empowerment shit, king this, king that, but it's on you. It's all on you. It don't matter how much drugs you take. It don't matter how much lean you sip, alcohol you drink, therapist you even talk to. It's still up to you to want to change yourself and to better yourself and to not have that hatred in your heart.
Bro, I agree with that. To answer your question, Jay, I think that the biggest step, the reason I put that out there, because I feel like that was just a scapegoat. It's like, yo, this man just got killed and you talking about, oh, this is a white supremacist talking point? Like, it's a myth? What do you mean it's a myth? We had these numbers of all these black men getting killed by guns. So moving forward, in talking solutions, I feel like we have to set standards about what we do. Like, it does come back to accountability. Like, we have to say, yo, like, shooting guns at the party is whack. Shooting guns when the club let out, that's whack. We not doing that. If Traquan and motherfucking you know what I'm saying, Quantrell's over there shooting the guns, we not finna fuck with them. Because these niggas wild.
Just naming names right
now. This is what came to mind.
Fucking Rockwell.
Tyrone.
Like, this is what it is, though.
Bro, we have to set the boundaries and say, like, okay, these niggas are wild. I'm not fucking with that. Y'all on some other shit. And this is what people used to do. Like, when I talk to my parents, because I'm the type of nigga, I listen to the elders. The elders got stories. I like to listen to people that have lived before me because they really got gems and knowledge. But they basically told me, like, yo, back in the day, like, people that used to go in and cause a commotion in the club and shoot stuff up and basically ruin the functions for everybody else, they was looked at as the wild niggas. The girls won't flocking to them, but now I feel like the girls is wanting to fuck them niggas. Like, they want the wild niggas that's, you know what I'm saying, doing all this treacherous shit. Like, We got to cut that out, man. We got to clean our act up, man.
So, and this is me being open and honest and genuine, but this is also me playing devil's advocate.
Okay.
So, one thing we got to understand is, in order to come to any type of solution, we have to welcome all perspectives at the table. What that girl said is, in your opinion, is counterproductive, but it's some validity behind that. It is validity behind that. And in approach of a solution, we need to, shout out Dave Chappelle, have truth and reconciliation with one another. Everybody needs to bring their perspectives and their experience to the table so everybody can be heard. This is the problem with social media. This is the problem with social media because everybody has an opinion, everybody has an experience, right? So the problem with social media is not the fact that everybody has an opinion and everybody has experience. It's the fact that every individual doesn't know how to handle outside opinions and experiences.
Right. Yeah.
So there was validity behind what she was saying, and that needs to be brought forth to the table. We need to know what she's saying. We need to understand what she's saying, because at the end of the day, people do kill what is around them. Proximity is really a real thing. Wives kill husbands, husband kills wives. Now, I see what you're saying when in terms of counterproductivity, in terms of moving forward, but it still needs to be said at the table, because the problem today is people try to exclude opinions and experiences that is not of their own. And we have this narrow mindset of what progress should look like. Progress includes all of us. Progress includes community. Progress includes including everybody at the table. So I would challenge you on that, but then I would raise this next question. The problem with that is how, when it comes to accountability, it comes to an individual level. Like everybody has to be able to accept other people's opinions, other people's experiences, whether they could be wrong or right. It's against the motherfucking point. But how do we move forward with that? If, let's say, for example, me and you have an issue, all three of us have an issue. Let's say that I'm willing to accept y'all's opinions. Let's say Ron's willing to accept our opinions and experiences, but Rel, for some reason, you're not. That in itself, that one person is the thing that's blocking it, because we're not operating on the same frequency, which goes into, when you include more motherfucking people in the same frequency, the more likelihood there is for conflict. So how do we move forward when it really comes down to an individual man in the mirror type of mind, type of way of living, type of state of being across all levels in order to move forward as one, which is the ultimate goal with Black people and with people all around the world. And then with all living things across the living world.
To add on, my opinion, the solution should be, every man has to go his own way, because obviously every man isn't going to be on the same mindset and the same agreements as far as getting the job done. Like, you may look at it this way, I look at it in this way. No love, no found. You go that way, I go this way. Because like you said, with everyone in a big opening, you got different mindsets, different ways of thinking. And, the majority of the time in this conversation, when you're dealing with, niggas and whatnot, they got their own personal vendetta and their own agenda about what they're going to do.
But I want to say, if we are trying to come together, then how is every man going their own way going to help that? Because I feel like, that post really pissed me off, bro. Because I really felt like, and this is just me personally, I may catch some flack for this, whatever, but I'm going somewhere with it. So we all, we all up in arms when a white cop kills us, or a white person kills a Black person for no reason, and we scream at Black Lives Matter. Why, when we kill each other, it's not a thing? You know what I'm saying?
I stand by
and when
everything
she
you about
said,
to say.
when she said that, it's a myth, Black on Black crime doesn't exist. It's just what are you talking about? It's all here. And then it's it kind of, by you saying people of all races kill all races, that's just what it is. you're deflecting. Like you almost like the all lives matter people because we talking about the Black Lives Matter, right? If you know what I'm saying, this 17-year-old black man got killed by this white cops and we screaming Black Lives Matter, the white people are going to feel attacked and offended by that. So they going to say, all lives matter, right?
Right.
But it's like, this is, fuck that. We locking in on this. This is what happened to this black person. Black lives matter. We know all lives matter, but this black person just got killed. So when I'm sitting here addressing my fellow black community, talking about Black Lives Matter, let's talk about this issue of violence that we have against each other. And you say, black on black crime is a myth. It's a white supremacist term. It doesn't exist. Okay, forget the term. Like, I know that people of all communities will kill who they're around, but I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about what happened in this instance with Takeoff. Takeoff got killed by a black man over a dice game. A homicide. That's a problem. Let's address that. But when I try to lock you in on that, you say, violence is in all communities. Black on black crime is a myth. Like I don't understand that, bro. Okay. Y'all feel me on that though, or am I reaching with that?
I feel you 100% because I say the same thing to people when I say that. It's like saying, yo, all cancer lives matter. But what about leukemia? Like, bitch, we talking about cancer, right?
Exactly. That's obvious, it's a time and a place for everything.
So my response to what you're saying, I agree, but I disagree. I disagree and I agree. So what I'm saying is it's not whether it's Black Lives Matter or All Lives Matter. It's Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter. We look at things as an either or perspective. What I was saying was we need to welcome All Lives Matter people and Black Lives Matter people metaphorically.
So you with Kanye, you gonna get one of them White Lives Matter shirts.
And I would get a Black Lives Matter shirt. And that might be controversial, but on a big wave, I understand where Kanye's coming from. I know what Kanye is trying to say because the point that Kanye is coming from is a very genuine one. But when it comes to trying to explain the grand and the life things that he's trying to explain, it just comes to the issue of articulation. Kanye does not have a very good articulate wording in the way he comes across, but he really is.
It's crazy because
he really is a genius. But he also has mental health problems. You know what I mean? So it's like it's this, but it's also that. So when I'm talking about, yeah, she still has a point. I'm not saying she's right or wrong. I'm just saying we need to welcome everybody because the problem is not Black Lives Matter or All Lives Matter. It's the problem that All Lives Matter people think that Black Lives Matter people think they're the problem. And Black Lives Matter people think that All Lives Matter people are just not with them. And the thing is, we need to include both of those. Because at the end of the day, both of those conversations, metaphorically to go into what we're talking about, are trying to achieve the same goal, more or less. Because I know All Lives Matter motherfuckers got alternate agendas and they low-key be on some racist shit, disrespectfully. But and cancel me if you want to, but you know what I'm saying? But like that's what I feel like we should do. We just need to learn how to, each on an individual level, accept opinions and experiences and people that are different than our own. Mm-hmm. Because there's validity behind it.
To add on to both sides, the person that's saying that from the post, she's not looking at it from a realistic standpoint. She's looking at it for how she wants it to be instead of the ugly reality. Like if you look around you or if you go down to the hoods and whatnot, it's going on. Like you don't have to live it to see what's happening. And to add on to your point about, All Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter. Once again, and I get where Kanye is coming from too. He's saying, listen, fuck this shit. It's about us as human beings. That's what it's about. Because we're all human. Like we all piss the same, we all eat the same, like we all bleed the same. That's the perception he's coming at it as. And like you said too, some of the All Lives Matter people, yes, they do have their own vendettas and their own personal agendas. I don't mean to
interrupt you, but some of the Black Lives Matter people do too. Because motherfuckers pretend to be Black Lives Matter and then just be doing fuck shit just to fuel their own All Lives Matter agenda. So
And-
like it's
and-
fuck shit on both sides, but
and-
there's also light on both sides.
To add on to, right? We got to dissect this shit down to a core, right? Yes, you got the Black Lives Matter people that's really in the field. Then you got the Black Lives Matter organization that takes from motherfuckers, that's stealing, that's using it for their own personal gains.